Thank you very much. My name is Godfrey Thenga from the University of South Africa. The top title of this presentation today is Online Trading of Intellectual Property Goods, Theft of Incorporeal Property. This is the table of content. We know that technology, innovation, and internet speed have sharpened and contributed to expansion of e-commerce and online trading in goods protected by intellectual property. I'll explain the concepts as I go on with the presentation. We know that the right to venture into trade is enshrined in the Constitution and legislation in many of the countries in the world. We know that there's a problem. First, there is an escalation in online trading with market platforms hoisted online by third parties. I'll explain the concept as I go on in the presentation. And secondly, that many shop dealers trade intellectual property, protected merchandise that deceives consumers. And thirdly, the tedious and expensive exercise to take legal action against traders as they are situated in various jurisdictions in the world. Because these goods are sold online and they are not physical stores that are available to them. Warrant the police to conduct searches and seizures. Fourthly, some traders do not disclose the country where their businesses are operated. Fifthly, the manufacturers and suppliers are not disclosed. We know that. So you see, a picture here shows that the goods are being delivered at the consumers' residential addresses or work addresses. It's difficult in tracing manufacturers. It makes the trade risky for consumers. The merchandise cannot be tested before making a purchase. The use of digital intermediary, these are the go-betweens, makes tracing suspects difficult. It's difficult for law enforcement to police the crime as the culprits may be situated anywhere in the world. And some of these countries do not have agreements to conduct investigation in respective countries. The research gaps, research on the practice of online stores, trading intellectual property, protected merchandise, that is goods. We have also poor quality goods and fakes. This under researching in this aspect. So that is why this was the research was warranted, so that we can then do more research on this to make this clear to everyone. Clarification of concepts, incorporeal property, what is it? This is intangible assets that a company owns, businesses own. Can be shares, contractual rights, software licenses or patents. You can see trademarks, copyrights, trade secrets, or patents. This is what we call incorporeal property. Most of these incorporeal properties are pasted on the goods that are being sold, because they are assisting in identifying those particular goods, that the goods are owned by these particular businesses, these companies. Online store hosts, online marketplace platforms hosted online by third parties, receive commission for their trades. For an example, we have the leading ones in the world, the Amazon, even take a lot. Brand holders, these are owners of the intellectual property. They own this incorporeal property. Counterfeit, you know that these are deceiving goods that are sold to people. The trademark is what I've just mentioned. That is one of the incorporeal property that are owned by brand owners and holders. For an example, famous leading brands in the world, we have Coca-Cola, is known very well. Barbie, you know it, McDonald's. So these are some of them that are known all over the world. I'm talking about these ones. Some of these in Taiwan, you have the Cosmet, Kaiko. So these are applicable in Taiwan. They are owned by Taiwanese. And if I happen to then copy one of these, I'll be infringing their intellectual property rights because they are owning that. The growth of online trading is the one that has really increased the problem of copying. Online trading is over 18% of global retail sales. Like I've mentioned, Amazon is one of those platforms. Walmart, you have it. Taobao, Tmall, they are operated by Alibaba. They are dominant in Asia. eBay, Etsy, you have that. Rakuten is in Japan. These are virtual malls. Allegro targets Eastern Europe. You also have Mercado Libre, that is in Latin America, Mexico, Brazil, Chile, and Colombia. So there are many of these marketplaces that are operating all over the world. The Taiwanese growth in online goods trading, a remarkable surge in popularity evidenced by 78% of consumers engaging in it. You have also this applicable to mostly Taiwanese communities, the PCOM. You have that it deals with the computer communication. You have Momo, also Shopee, consumable goods. Britain, I've mentioned it, the eBay, they operate in the Taiwanese market. The growth of online trade in South Africa, we have also taken a lot of mentioned that, the Gumtree marketplace, Amazon South Africa, you have that. So I've just wanted to clarify the concepts. Why there's a need to conduct this research? You need to use your credit cards to make payments online. So there's a risk there. Like I've said, that these goods are posted, that is delivered at your convenient address. So there is no physical shop that you go to. Business takes place from the comfort of the homes. The retail e-commerce sales worldwide stand at 3.53 trillion US dollars. This is huge amount of money. That is why the criminals are attracted by this huge amount, so that they can share in the spoil. Sustainable development goals that will be relevant for this research, food and security, SDG 1 and 2, decent work and economic growth. You also have the industry innovation infrastructure, speaking directly to the issue of trademark, and all others are applicable to the topic. The research aim and objective, the modus operandi of online marketplace in trading in IP infringing goods, that is incorporeal property infringement. So online trading of IP project goods manifested to investigate the online trading of IP infringing goods by unscrupulous online traders on the marketplace, to establish the extent of trading in IP infringing goods, and also to investigate the multifaceted nature of the obstacle faced by law enforcement in policing online IP infringing goods. Remember, I've mentioned that it's difficult because the police do not know who is actually selling these goods. There is no physical address that the police can go to and say, you are the manufacturer of the goods, so you are responsible for this. There's legal actions against you. In most cases, they don't find that. The methodology, that is data collection and analysis, it's a qualitative approach, was conducted with the use of systematic literature review, peer review academic journals and books, websites, national and international organization websites, to determine what authors have written on the topics of the study. Thematic analysis used, recurring themes and patterns related to online trading stores, online marketplaces, intellectual property, protected merchandise, that is goods, brand holders, law enforcement, intelligence, and valuable information on the challenges faced law enforcement in curtailing the illegal practice. These are the topics that we use to source the information from literature. The sociological perspective, these are the theories I'm talking about. Rational choice theory, it involves the belief that crime is inevitable. The more vulnerable the target, the more likelihood that crime will occur. Remember, I've mentioned that e-commerce is making huge amount of profit for the owners. So criminals obviously will look at this huge amount of money and want to share the spoil. So how do they do that? Hoping and selling also their goods on the same supply channel. We also have consumer behavior, e-commerce adoption theory. We'll focus on the technology accepted model. Consumers willing to use an online trading platform to determine by two factors: perceived usefulness and perceived ease of use. Indeed, to trade online is easy and is useful. Transaction cost theory. explain how online trading platforms, Amazon have mentioned that, take a lot, thrive by reducing the costs associated with search, negotiations, and enforcement of contracts, because they don't have to employ a huge number of people in their shops or physical stores. They don't have to pay rentals in the malls where they will be operating. They do it at their comfortable houses. Legislative landscape that we had to look at. In the Constitution, we have South African Constitution, for that matter, equality before the law and fair discrimination prohibited, freedom of trade. We look at that. The Cyber Crimes Act, we looked at the Electronic Communication Transaction Act, Consumer Protection Act, also looked at Protection of Personal Information Act, as well as Promotion of Administrative Justice Act. They will be explained in detail in the manuscript. Legislative, continue with that. The Counterfeit Goods Act, that is where these goods, the original ones, are counterfeited. The fakes are delivered to the innocent consumers, unsuspecting consumers. Merchandise Act 17, we'll look at that. Copyright Acts, special on softwares, we'll look at that. Trademark Act, Competition Act, National Data and Cloud Policy. We'll look at the South African Police Service Act, also relevant here, because that's where it regulates policing. The international legal instruments that we'll look at also will be United Nations Commission and International Trade Law. The ancestral, we'll look at that one. International trade law, there are documents that we have considered. General Agreements on Tariff and Trade, the GATT, also speaks of goods ordered online. General Agreement on Trade and Services covers digital trade. Moratorium on custom duties on electronic transmissions prohibits member countries from imposing custom duties on electronic transmissions. So that's where these criminals take advantage of the grace that is granted by the international legal instruments. We also look at OECD, the guidelines you can see from the screen there. The findings have indicated that online trading using marketplaces platform is increasing exponentially worldwide, especially after the 2020 COVID-19. Many people were forced to trade online, and that trend has continued. Goods cannot be tested or verified before purchase is made because they're done online. Brands leverage their online stores to collect customer data, the advantage for the legitimate businesses, whereby they gather more customer data so that they can sell their products to those customers. Selling online marketplace is affordable. As I've already mentioned in the introduction, there's risk of identity theft of banking details in case of compromised online security in paying platforms, especially when you talk about hacking and all other computer crimes that are committed, the modern ones. There's a seamless online transaction. I said criminals are taking advantage as well. They're piggybacking on what legitimate businesses are operating on. The problem also of extra jurisdictional problems in terms of litigation. The after-sale customer service issues is a problem because some of these shops do not provide the after-sale service. So consumers are left frustrated. Nobody is attending to their queries. The weak and poor enforcement of laws, lax police and intelligence services, untraceable producers, suppliers, and sellers I've mentioned there. There's a surge of online goods trading. I've discussed that due to internet usage. Unscrupulous people are entered the space selling their wares online. Poor quality goods and counterfeit goods that violate intellectual property are also sold in the online marketplace. And this has the propensity of tainting the online platform and also affecting the legitimate business's reputation. Counterfeited and trademark violating goods are traded. Some sellers of goods are not operating in South Africa. These are imported goods. Some of the goods producers are located in foreign jurisdiction and can be difficult for law enforcement to trace them. Lax law enforcement perpetuates the problem. The deceiving merchandise of leading brands can damage the brand's reputation. I've just mentioned that. Because of time, I don't want to dwell on this. Investigation should be targeted, trace the manufacturers of contaminated goods in South Africa and punish the distributors. Brand holders should employ informers in various countries to identify IP infringing productions, that is, in-house use of evidence-based intelligence in private sector. This will cost money for those legitimate businesses. Remember, like I've said, those who are pirating these goods do not have to employ the in-house investigators because they are the criminals. Countries should conclude agreements with online marketplace platforms to operate in their jurisdiction so that they hold traders accountable. Law enforcement should be workshopped on the operations of online market platforms and the possible infringement. We have seen that mostly law enforcement officers do not police the online operations. And this is a problem for countries. So the police need to be trained about the crimes that are taking place online. Trading IP goods is widespread in the online marketplace. Online goods trade is user-friendly and secure payment platforms are seamless. However, there is an ever-increasing threat of data integrity owing to the potential of hacking. Law enforcement agencies, including the intelligence services, should enforce the laws. Technology capacitation can assist to understand the typology of online goods trading crimes. Thank you very much. I appreciate your listening. Thank you.